Debbie came up with this great idea that we do like those 5 top things that you should be talking to your doctor about in that 6 minutes that you have, right? Gone are the days of just sitting back and letting them do whatever they need to do. It should be kind of a shared experience. So number 1, wearables. So if you already have your health metrics from your wearables, you have all this information to give your doctor.
Oh my gosh. So I think that a wearable, and there's so many on the market today. I've been wearing Whoop for a long time. You have a
I'm an
couple of rings.
UltraHuman. So I love UltraHuman. I've done Aura before as well, but I'm a big UltraHuman fan. I also wear the Apollo, which does give you some information, and we'll dive into all of these as well. I also use the Lumen, which isn't a wearable, but it measures. And then you also do.
And I'm wearing right now the second week of my continuous glucose monitor.
You're totally laughing at us. All of our toys.
Well, we love personal data,
right?
And that's where there's so much power. I really have found that wearing a measurable of some kind where you get to understand how you sleep, what your resting heart rate is, how you overall, what your strain is for the day, you know, how your glucose responds to food. This personal information is truly the driver for change. When you really understand, and we always laugh, for example, a glass of wine or 2.
What'd you have last night, Deb?
I had a glass of wine at 7.
At 7.
That's too late for, we have the same genetics, honestly.
If you're going to drink, you have to day drink.
At noon. Noon to 3.
The piece they're going to clip. But it's true, because alcohol has such an impact on your sleep. And actually now we know it's like about 24 hours.
It is. It is.
So she's still drunk. I mean, she's not.
But the interesting part of all that is most of us, and I did it for decades, you know, you have your glass of wine, or I love my red wine, and you go to sleep and you think you sleep great and life is fine. You wake up, you go to the gym, you bring the kids, you're productive, you're fine. You're just having a glass or 2. And when you wear a wearable and you know that maybe I should cut back on alcohol, maybe I don't need it, you start seeing my resting heart rate goes way up when I'm sleeping. My sleep is disrupted.
Your HRV tanks.
You see that you're not escaping anything. And it's really liberating to inspire that change that in the back of your head, you know, you want to make. But it's hard because we live life and we have families and friends, and, you know, so data is a driver for change, and it gives you all that powerful information that if you see a pattern or something that you want to work on, or something you think you might want to mention to your doctor, you can go in with this information like, doc, I noticed when, you know, I do this or do that, my resting heart rate is around 59. But when I have a glass of wine, it shoots up to 65. Should I be concerned?
And also, you can see change over time. I don't know if you've seen any of these things on like Instagram where people are like, oh, my UltraHuman diagnosed my whatever, my lupus, my cancer, I had a friend, actually a client that I worked with, one of my very first clients. She's like, it knew I was pregnant. My UltraHuman knew I was pregnant before I knew I was pregnant. Yeah, because
does it actually say you're pregnant?
No, but she knew it was off because her HRV tanked, her resting heart rate went way up, and you also get temperature. So one of the biggest things that I see with mine is if my temperature is elevated, either immune system, something's going on there. It's also related to your cycle. So they can help with tracking with your cycle if you're still cycling, but it can also mean that you're just getting really, really, really bad sleep, because sometimes I'll have an elevated temperature, like when my daughters keep me up in the middle of the night chatting,
which is a blessing.
Which is a blessing. I will take it any day. But yeah, she's like, my UltraHuman knew that I was pregnant before I peed on a stick.
I'm excited for what's to come. All this technology and all of this information, all this data, we're really waking up to realizing that we do have more control over our health. And I know, because we listen to all the podcasts and we love all of the science, there'll be a day where we're not that far away from it, where we're wearing a device that says, oh, time for some protein, time to take a walk. This is what you need right now in this moment to be your best, which is really cool.
Well, and I will say, and what we're going to do is we're going to go through all the data that's the most important that we want you to look at. I will say the Lumen, which I use, which helps you with metabolic flexibility. It's something that you blow into a couple times a day.
I'm getting one.
Yeah, you need to. But it will tell you, okay, you need to have less carbs today. You need to have more fats today. You need to lift weights today. You need to do a meditated day today. Like, it literally can tell you, and what it's testing your CO2 and where you are in terms of your metabolic flexibility. So it helps with weight loss as well, which is really, really great. So yeah, it's there. These these devices are telling you what to do. The way I look at it, because I had somebody tell me, I don't know if I want to get an UltraHuman or something like that because I'm just going to be depressed by my number. My HRV is going to be low. My sleep's going to be horrible, all of that. And I was like, you don't think of it that way. You think of it as it gives you all of your data and it's a recipe for how you're supposed to take your next day. So if it comes back and your HRV is lower than your 10-day average and your resting heart rate is high and it's telling you didn't get really, really great sleep, then you know, okay, my recipe for the day is more mindfulness, more resting. Maybe I didn't need to do yoga nidra in the afternoon. Maybe I don't need to go for that 5-mile run. Instead, I need to do some yoga or something like that. Or if you wake up and it's like you nailed it on sleep, your HRV is higher than it's been in the last 10 days. Okay, today is a day when you push hard. This is when you go for gains, right? So it is a recipe for your day.
Absolutely. And I think, if you approach it without judgment, which I know is something we always have to work on because we
have the hardest time. It will impact my mood.
Absolutely. So it's something that information's power. It is so powerful to just know what we've never known before, taking the guesswork out of, what do you need today? You're always trying different things, in the past. What diet works for me? Do I do this? Do I do that? Do I need to go to bed earlier? Do I need to wake up earlier? Do I need to take a walk? This way, it really takes all the guesswork out of it. So if you can step back from judging, oh, it's not high enough. Oh, my friend has a 0.37 CRP. I don't want, if you take all of that out of it and you just get into the mindset that you are on a path to optimizing your health, because what's great for Kerstin isn't great for me. Well, actually for us, it is.
We're pretty much the same.
We're pretty much the same human, but the reality is mine compared to my husband's or my daughter's, because now I'm so thankful my family has these measuring devices.
Wow.
So we all can have these conversations. And you were saying about detecting sickness. My daughter lives in Boston now on her own, and I can see when her whoop shows up red. I said, oh, Alyssa, are you not feeling well? Sure enough, there's something coming on. So it is just a powerful tool to really take the guesswork out of what you need. And if you can just be honest and be practical with, well, today my body needs this, because our body is a powerful communicator, but often we're not listening or we ignore because we have things to do. And we need not ignore, right?
You have a dashboard for your car that shows everything that's going on inside of it. This is like your dashboard for you. You need to have a dashboard to see what's going on inside of you and to be preventative. Remember, health coaching specifically, it's all about preventative care. Doctors are about Band-Aid medicine, fixing you, cutting you open and putting you back together. They're lifesavers. Health coaching and integrative medicine and a lot of functional medicine is about keeping you well in the first place, keeping you out of the operating room. So let's go through the top metrics that we like to see. HRV, and go back and listen to my episode all about HRV, because that's like one of the best metrics for your health. HRV, resting heart rate, temperature on there. I like to look at deep and REM sleep because that's when your brain and your body heals. So I always love people to, when I first start working with them, to get a wearable and look at the sleep, because that can also let us know if maybe you need to get tested for sleep apnea. So deep and REM together should be about 38% of your total sleep time. What else? We like to look at, VO2 max is a good one.
Oh, that's a really good one. Actually, what I love also about these wearables is they're always evolving. So you continue to wear it, but the technology is improving and improving. So you don't need new devices. You don't need to trade in.
No, they keep on
the
upgrading.
Technology is always evolving. So VO2 max just showed up for me today on our WHOOP. I'm very excited. So that is a good one. The better and more efficient your VO2 max, it's a sign of longevity and health. I also want to say with these devices, stress levels. My glass of wine at 7 p.m. caused my stress. You can see the graph throughout the night. Now, optimally, you want to see no disruption, low stress. You're sleeping.
Yeah.
Last night, and I didn't go to bed till 10:30.
What happened?
It's genetics.
Were you having fun though?
No, it was fun. And my husband and I, we had it was fun. But it's just interesting, right? Yeah. It's just, and again, no judgment. It's fine. I had a glass of wine.
And honestly, so I would talk to Debbie about that, and we would say, okay, so why didn't you just take it off? Because here's the thing.
I know.
We know what's going to happen if we have a glass of wine. When Debbie and I travel and, we're on a cruise with our friends, like if we have a glass of wine, I'm not even wearing my wearable those days because I'm just going to wake up and be angry at myself. Mm-hmm. And you know what? I had a great time having a glass of wine with friends. There's something about that relationship aspect of the 4 main pillars of your wellness. So I think last night you probably should have just taken it off.